We're not in the chill zone.
No, sir. We are at our Rusty Looter server today.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we got the Rusty Looter server back up
Mr.
and
Togue
running.
just fired it up there yesterday, I think it was. He fired it up.
But a question has came to the table, so we wanted to pass it over to you, Mr. Togue, and you tell us about your experience and what contract you just signed for this.
All right, so I got this server for a whole year, and then immediately upon getting it somewhat right, I sent an email to G-Portal customer support, and I asked them, what happens to the Rust server when Gen 2 drops in June? Does the server update to the new Gen 2? Well, quickly, a lot faster than I expected, Jessica from customer service support wrote me back. And she says, hello, unfortunately, we do not have the information at this point on whether or not it will be on the current Rust console servers or will have to be a whole different server. I'm sorry for that we do not have any further information for you. Kindly regards, Jessica from G Portal Incorporated in Texas. And then it's at the bottom, it says CEO Saska Wintz, W-I-N-T-Z. So, I think they're saying they don't know what's going to happen. And for me, though, it seems like, well, if the game stops Gen 1, they would have no choice but to allow everybody that's had a server to be automatically upgraded to the Gen 2. But at this point, they really don't know what's going to happen. They could force us to buy another whole server, which I don't have a problem with, but, they just signed a year contract with me. You would think they would have given me some kind of warning saying, this, that, or anything.
Yeah, and also, too, you think that almost, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be ending anyways in October.
Yeah.
So you think they would have only been able to let people do it for a half a year, or at least until that date, which is 5 months away or something.
It just seems as if nobody knows anything.
Yeah, including G-Portal don't know. That's the weird part. They are directly, affected by this new Gen 2. You would think they would at least be given some information on it.
PlayStation and Xbox don't really seem to know, although the game's showing, there's no discount showing. And, that discount path that's been talked about, that's not showing yet. And, obviously now we've had we've not had we've heard that NITRADO servers are going to be running. Are they going to be running all of the servers on the new gen, or are they going to be splitting it with G-Portal? Do you know anything about that, MEGAMIKE? Have you heard anything about that at all?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I got I think basically just like Pedro said there when he released there, telling everyone about the NITRADO servers that they had up and running, and just to kind of jump on there and stress test them, right? Yeah. So I think a lot of it, they're just everything's still kind of up in the air, right? Yeah. And who knows? Maybe they're going to pick for the actual release date of which provider they're going to use. Maybe it's something that they're going to try and figure out, because right now with the NITRADO, you're only playing it on the old version, right? Mm-hmm. So who knows how it's going to handle in the newer versions? Probably more higher graphic demand. You know what I mean? It's going to be more of a demanding game. So I'm thinking they're probably going to maybe that first week trial period that with the Deluxe and Ultimate people who bought the Deluxe and Ultimate game, maybe they get the we get the trial run the 19th. So maybe that's something they're kind of part of the testing of that. You know what I mean? Is that trial run maybe to see how it's going to handle with the newer graphics and the current for the current systems, right? I think that's a lot's probably up in the air with that. I think it's just a lot has to do with the results of how the servers are playing, and I don't think it would be a very good representation with the game that we're playing right now versus the current gen on one of them server providers. I believe it'd be you think it'd have to be vastly different, right? If you're bugging out a little bit on this version on those NITRADO servers, right? How are they going to handle the next one? You know what I mean? It's going to be more of a demanding game. And so it's curious to see, right? How it's going to unfold here, and I still just can't wait for the 19th, and I just want to play the game no matter which one it's on.
And how exactly?
I think the developers, should at least release the information of what's going to happen to the systems.
Well, there's going to be no more dev
like,
blogs now. That's it, because they're the last Thursday of every month, aren't they? So that's the last one now before. But they might do releases where they're just talking about stuff like they have done, but the dev blogs are over right now.
Yeah, because I don't think anybody's been talking about what's going to actually happen to the servers. So I think this, we might be the first. I mean, I'm not saying we are, but if we are, maybe this will spark some interest for other people to be reaching out to the developers saying, hey, what's the deal? What's going to actually happen to the servers? What's going to happen to the game? Is Gen 1 going to be running at the same time as Gen 2? Or is it just going to be stopped and Gen 2 is going to take over?
Well, they did confirm community servers from launch, and that was something that we'd always talked about and wondered, is there going to be community servers? Then they said, well, we're going to give you the 7-day early access if you've got the deluxe or ultimate, and there'll be community servers from the 19th also. So they've confirmed that the community servers definitely will be live from the 19th, but where do you get one of these community servers? Because even as a community server owner yourself, Mr. Togue, you are in touch with G Portal and you have no idea whether it's going to automatically switch to NITRADO and you're going to get a contract with them, or what's going to happen?
Well, that's why I think it comes down to the developers and what they're going to do with Gen 1. I think that's the key. What are they actually going to do with Gen 1? If they decide to keep it and run it, parallel with Gen 2, then anybody who's controlling the servers,
right?
Well,
aren't they being shut down in October? I think so. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. They're only running till October.
They are. Yeah, they only run the old gen game till October. Yeah. So
then G Portal will have to switch us over to Gen 2 because, like I said, I paid for a whole year. It's not like they're going to say, oh, too bad, you lost 6 months of your contract. Too bad for you.
Well, the game's going to be live in 20 days, right? So under 3 weeks, right? It's going to be live in 20 days. So there's the information that Toxic mentioned about the content creator program. That would be interesting to find that out before the launch of the game. Number 2, obviously, what's going to happen with the server passover? This is a massive question. I feel most of the other questions have kind of been answered about the price of the game.
Yeah.
But and it's funny when Toxic was on, we were saying, Mike, I was like, do you think they'll just smoothly transition over? And he was like, well, I wouldn't say smoothly. That's a bit of a push or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here we go. Already we're thinking, and server owners are probably wondering, because other server owners must have done exactly the same as you, Mr. Togue, and contacted G Portal and been like, so
what's going on? You got
what's going to happen?
Deal.
I've still got 12 months on my contract, however many months on my contract, and am I going to get are you going to get a refund also would probably be the question if, if they were to say, oh, well, it's not our fault, the game finishes in October, we can just run it till October and then that'll be it. Are you going to get a refund for those extra months? Or can you get a full refund on the months that the new gen come out from? So from 3 weeks time, basically, can you get a refund from that point? So I don't know.
I think that the server people are just at the mercy of the game. I think that's what's going to happen. They're just going to have to stand by and wait and see what the developers do with the actual games. And then from then they can say, okay, we're just going to automatically switch you over to Gen 2, or if they need to do an equipment upgrade because of the demands of the game, they may shut down for a couple weeks or whatever to allow them to do their changeover. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, definitely, to see how it's going to play out. How these servers or whatever server provider they're on, if it's going to be able to handle it. I imagine. I think there's going to be a lot of people flushing into this game. I think when the new one drops. you know, I think there's going to be a lot of people, and I think it's going to be some stress on whatever server, whatever provider's going to be providing the server. It's going to be a stress on them either way, I think. So it's going to be some bugs to be worked out for sure, I'd say.
Yeah, it's like going from Windows 95 to Windows 2000. 2000 screwed everything up, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, we're going to have to get these answers within the next 20 days. So, fingers crossed we can get some updates about how you go about getting a NITRADO server, if it is, you know, going to be
That's the one they're even
solely...
going with.
Yeah, is it going to be solely NITRADO, or is it going to be a mixture of G-Portal and NITRADO? Okay, thank you for jumping in, Mr. Togue, and giving us this information about the emails back and forward with G-Portal. I appreciate it.
no, thank you.
Yes, sir. Until next time, guys.
All the best.
See y'all later.
Peace.
Peace.